So I'm going to do a little video here on the inside of the van. So again, as I said on the first part, it's not going to be a particularly long video because there's not a huge amount to run through. But you've got a little control panel just here, Leisure Drive branded control panel. You've got a couple of USB sockets on here on the actual thing itself, and it does also tell you the battery voltage all the time there as well. So you can keep your eye on that battery voltage, make sure it doesn't go down below about 10 volts, and then if it does start to go down below 10 volts, all you need to do is plug the hookup cable into it for a little while to charge it back up. You've also got auxiliary, pump, lights, and your battery selector here on the left. So the battery selector, if you're going to use power in the back end of the vehicle for your lights and all that sort of stuff, you're going to want it to be up on leisure. Having it down on vehicle is obviously a bad thing, because after a little while your vehicle battery is going to be draining out, and you're going to run out of power. You won't be able to start it up. So it is really important to choose leisure anytime that you're using power in the back end. When you want to come into the van and you want to turn everything on, just turn these three here on. So that's by pushing up, and then you'll be able to go ahead and use any of the lights all the way around the vehicle. They should all then come to life. All the lights around the vehicle are LEDs, so they're nice and bright and they don't use up much power. So that's a really helpful thing to have. The old sort of halogen style bulbs did use up quite a lot of power, so these are a lot better. When you want to get out of the van and turn everything off, you can literally just go back to the middle here to turn everything off, or you can turn them all off as well. Right, toilet is the next thing. So couldn't be much easier with this one. So you press this little blue button just here to get your flush fluid to pump around, and then pull this little handle here to drain it into the cassette. Make sure that you push this handle back when you're finished, because if you don't, you won't be able to take the cassette out from outside. It'll be locked in position. So that is all you need to know really about the toilet. Very straightforward and easy to use. I'll just pop this back down as well. Right, so you've got a bit of storage in here underneath that control panel area and above it as well. Behind us, we've got the cold water sink. So this is just cold water only. There's no hot water on here at all. So as long as you've got your power switched on and the water pump switch turned on, you'll then be able to draw the water through to the tap. The tank itself sits underneath here, and this is your fresh tank. So the wastewater just goes straight out onto the floor underneath, and this is your fresh water tank just here, so you can top this up as and when you need. Right, we've then got your 2-burner hob over on the right hand side. So you've got a little ignition switch just here for those. Okay, so if you wanted to light any of them up, again, I can't really do it with one hand, but it's just a case of pushing in and round on whichever one you want to light up whilst pressing on this one, and it will light either of those two up. You've then got underneath that, you've got your oven and grill, which has got its own ignition switch. The grill is obviously at the top there, and the oven is at the bottom, just right down the back there. So really easy to use. I very rarely actually explain through that sort of stuff because there's not really much to it, to be honest. So behind me is the main wardrobe. You can see there loads of storage in there, top to bottom. You can take these out if you want to, and then you use this as like a sort of what would you call it? Just a bit of extra paperwork there. Use this as a hanger up the top there. Below that, we've got the fridge. So this is a 3-way fridge. It's a Dometic fridge. So you've got the 3 options here of either mains electric, which is this one, 12-volt electric, which is for when your engine's running, or gas, which is what we're on at the moment, all the way down at the bottom. Just make sure that's lit up. So if you want to use it on gas, you just basically select the bottom one there, the little gas flame symbol, and then you just do what I've done there, which is basically push in on this one here whilst pressing on your ignition button, and just make sure that the little orange handle there goes up into the green. And that's all you need to do. You're literally just checking that the little orange handle goes up into the green, and as long as it stays there when you let go of this little knob here, you're good to go, and you know for a fact the flame is on. If the flame goes out, that little orange tab will go back down into the white section, and then all you need to do is just turn it back on again. It's literally just as easy as that. If you're hooked up on the mains, you can literally just select the mains one there and it will start cooling down. So the gas and the mains are the only two ways that you can actually get the fridge cold. The 12 volt there it's the same with all fridges, but all it's there for is for keeping the temperature inside the fridge whilst you're driving. It doesn't really have enough power to get the fridge cold by itself. So you need to make sure that you pre-cool the fridge before you leave, either on the gas or the mains, and then switch over to 12 volt just for when you're driving. In the front, obviously you can see that you've got a small single bed or double bed up here. It would be advertised as a 4-berth because you can fit a couple of kids up there, maybe one adult. But that is your sort of sleeping area up there. It obviously comes forwards here and makes into a bigger bed, nice and easy. Only other thing to point out, I think, is just going to be the gas locker down here. So if I just open up this one, you'll see properly labelled up and metal lined, so there's not going to be any gas coming into the van itself. You've also got a dropout hole down there at the bottom, so it's all properly, you know, done to regulations and all that sort of stuff. The gas bottle itself is a camping gas bottle. This is a 907, which is one of the bigger ones that they do. So to turn the bottle on, we go anti-clockwise on this little valve at the top here, all the way until it stops. And that means that the bottle is completely on. And when we want to turn it off, we go clockwise round to the right, all the way down until it stops. Okay, so now we've got it to that point there, it's all the way down to the bottom. I know now that gas is completely turned off. If you think you've got a problem with a specific appliance, you can isolate the individual appliances with those little valves there, and it does tell you on this little diagram what valve does what. So for example, if we thought we had a problem with the fridge, I'm just going to turn the fridge off for now. If I thought I had a problem with the fridge and I thought there was a gas leak, I could have a little look here, see that the blue is for the fridge, and then I can isolate that there just by doing that. Now, I will say that you do not need to do that every time you get out of the van. Turning the gas bottle off itself is perfectly good for isolating the gas, and that's all you need to do. It's only if you have a problem with specifically one appliance that you would isolate it like that. Other than that, you might have the leisure battery in here. Oh no, you've got your trip switches in here. So if you wanted to double check your mains power, your trip switches are just there. Right, so I think I've covered pretty much everything. I don't think there's much else to run through, to be fair. If there's anything else you want me to go through or any other questions that you've got, just give us a shout. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.